Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract everyone they meet without making any effort? They may not be the richest person in the room. They may not have extraordinary physical beauty. They may not even be the most talented or the most talkative. Yet wherever they go, people naturally feel comfortable around them. They inspire trust, kindness, and respect almost instantly. Their presence feels peaceful, warm, and uplifting, as though they carry an invisible light within them. What is the secret behind this remarkable attraction? Is it simply confidence, charm, or good communication? Or is there something much deeper at work, something that cannot be seen with the eyes but can be felt by every heart? Paramahansa Yogananda taught that the greatest attraction does not come from the body or the personality alone. It comes from the soul. He called this inner power personal magnetism, the invisible spiritual force that naturally flows through a person whose thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned with divine truth. According to Yogananda, every thought we think, every feeling we nurture, and every habit we repeat creates a subtle vibration that silently influences the people around us. Long before we speak a single word, our consciousness is already communicating with the world. In today's fast-moving world, many people spend years trying to become more attractive by changing their appearance, earning more money, or gaining social status. Yet despite achieving these things, they often continue searching for something that still feels missing. Yogananda reminds us that lasting beauty and true influence cannot be created from the outside. They must awaken from within. In this video, we will explore the timeless spiritual secrets that awaken genuine personal magnetism, strengthen your inner presence, and reveal the divine light that has always existed within your soul. Stay with me until the end, because these teachings may completely transform the way you see yourself and the way the world responds to you. Paramahansa Yogananda often reminded his students of one life-changing truth: you are not the body. You are not the restless mind. You are the immortal soul. Although these words may sound simple, they contain one of the deepest spiritual realizations a human being can experience. Most of us spend our lives identifying with our physical appearance, our achievements, our failures, and the opinions of others. We believe that our value depends on how we look, how much we own, or how successful we become. But Yogananda taught that these are only temporary experiences. They are like changing scenes in a dream. Beneath all of them exists your true identity, the eternal soul, created in the image of the divine, untouched by fear, aging, or worldly limitations. When you begin to recognize yourself as the soul rather than the body, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your confidence no longer depends on external approval, and your peace is no longer controlled by changing circumstances. Instead, a quiet inner strength starts to radiate from within. Yogananda explained that every thought you think, every emotion you nurture, and every habit you cultivate shapes your consciousness. Your consciousness is the invisible atmosphere that surrounds you, and whether you realize it or not, other people constantly feel its influence. A mind filled with anxiety, resentment, or jealousy silently spreads those vibrations, while a heart filled with faith, kindness, and serenity naturally uplifts everyone it meets. This is why two people can say the very same words, yet one inspires trust while the other creates discomfort. The difference is not in the words themselves but in the consciousness behind them. True personal magnetism is not something you put on like clothing or learn as a social skill. It is the natural fragrance of a soul that has begun to awaken to its divine nature. The more deeply you remember who you truly are, the more effortlessly your inner light begins to shine, drawing others not to your personality alone, but to the peace of the divine reflected through you. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that thoughts are far more powerful than most people realize. They are not merely silent conversations taking place inside the mind, they are living forces that carry energy and vibration. Every thought you repeatedly entertain gradually shapes your character and influences the atmosphere around you. Long before modern science began exploring the connection between thoughts, emotions, and human behavior, Yogananda explained that each thought sends out subtle vibrations that affect both ourselves and those around us. A person who constantly dwells on fear, anger, criticism, or jealousy may try to hide those emotions behind a smile, but their inner unrest can still be felt by others. In the same way, someone who fills their mind with gratitude, compassion, courage, and faith naturally radiates peace without making any effort. This is why some people make us feel calm and inspired simply by being in their presence, while others leave us feeling drained or uneasy, even if they say very little. Yogananda summarized this spiritual law in a simple yet profound sequence: thoughts become habits. Habits become character. Character shapes destiny. Every repeated thought plants a seed in the garden of the mind. If that seed is watered every day, it eventually becomes a habit, and over time those habits form the character that determines the direction of our lives. For this reason, Yogananda encouraged his students to become careful gardeners of their own consciousness. Whenever a negative thought appears, do not feed it with attention or emotion. Instead, replace it with a higher thought. Replace fear with faith, resentment with forgiveness, discouragement with hope, and selfishness with love. The mind cannot remain empty, it always grows whatever you choose to cultivate. By consciously nurturing thoughts that reflect truth, kindness, and divine wisdom, you gradually transform your inner vibration. As your consciousness becomes brighter and more harmonious, your personal magnetism grows naturally, and the peace within your heart begins to shine outward, silently touching every life you encounter. If there is one spiritual practice that Paramahansa Yogananda emphasized throughout his entire life, it was meditation. He taught that meditation is not an escape from the responsibilities of daily life, nor is it simply a technique for relaxation. Meditation is the sacred process of discovering your true self and reconnecting with the divine presence that already lives within you. Most people spend their days with minds constantly pulled in different directions. One moment they are thinking about work, the next about money, then relationships, health, responsibilities, or worries about the future. This endless stream of thoughts scatters our life energy, leaving us mentally exhausted and spiritually disconnected. Yogananda explained that scattered energy weakens personal magnetism because the mind loses its natural power when it is constantly distracted. Meditation gently reverses this process. It gathers the wandering mind and directs it inward, where lasting peace can be found. Just as sunlight becomes powerful enough to ignite a flame when focused through a magnifying glass, the concentrated mind becomes filled with extraordinary strength, clarity, and spiritual awareness. As you practice meditation consistently, restlessness gradually gives way to calmness, anxiety is replaced by quiet confidence, and fear slowly dissolves into a deep sense of trust in God. This inner transformation cannot always be seen with the eyes, but it can certainly be felt by the people around you. Your words become more thoughtful, your reactions become more balanced, and your presence begins to carry a quiet peace that comforts others without effort. Yogananda often reminded his students that the deepest joy is not found in the changing experiences of the outer world but in the stillness of the soul. Every moment spent in sincere meditation removes another layer of restlessness that hides your divine nature. As the mind becomes calm and the heart opens to God's presence, your inner light shines more brightly, and the personal magnetism that once seemed mysterious begins to flow naturally from the peace, wisdom, and love awakening within your soul. Paramahansa Yogananda often described calmness as one of the greatest signs of true spiritual power. He beautifully wrote that, "Calmness is the living breath of God within man." These words remind us that genuine strength is not found in loud voices, emotional reactions, or the desire to control every situation. Real strength is revealed through a peaceful mind that remains steady in the face of life's constant changes. Imagine standing beside the ocean during a storm. On the surface, powerful waves rise and crash with great force, yet far below the surface, the water remains perfectly still. Yogananda taught that the human mind is very much like the ocean. Most people live only on the surface of their consciousness, where every criticism hurts, every failure feels overwhelming, and every compliment determines their happiness. Their emotions rise and fall according to circumstances they cannot control. But the spiritual seeker learns to dive beneath these restless waves and discover the deep inner stillness that exists within the soul. When you develop this calm center, the world may continue to change around you, but it no longer has the power to shake your inner peace. Challenges become opportunities for growth instead of reasons for fear. Success no longer fills you with pride, and failure no longer fills you with despair, because your happiness is rooted in something far greater than temporary events. Yogananda explained that calmness is not weakness or passivity, it is the quiet confidence that comes from trusting God's wisdom in every situation. People naturally feel safe in the presence of someone who remains calm during confusion because calmness communicates stability, wisdom, and inner strength without the need for words. It becomes a silent source of comfort and inspiration for everyone nearby. As you cultivate this divine calm through prayer, meditation, and self-control, your personal magnetism grows stronger each day. Others may not understand why they are drawn to you, but they will feel the peaceful presence of a soul that has learned to rest in God, and that quiet spiritual power is one of the most beautiful forms of attraction anyone can possess. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that the greatest beauty a person can possess is not found in physical appearance but in the qualities of the heart. Among those qualities, he placed divine love above all else. This love is very different from ordinary emotional attachment or the desire to possess someone. Divine love asks for nothing in return. It flows freely because it recognizes the same divine presence in every soul. Yogananda explained that whenever we choose kindness instead of judgment, forgiveness instead of resentment, and compassion instead of selfishness, we become channels through which God's love can enter the world. Have you ever met someone who made you feel accepted the moment you spoke with them? They did not impress you with wealth or status. Instead, they listened without judging, spoke with genuine kindness, and made you feel valued simply by their presence. That is the quiet power of divine love. It creates a magnetic presence that no outward beauty can ever replace. Yet Yogananda also warned that this inner magnetism can be weakened by negative habits. Every repeated act of anger, dishonesty, greed, or selfishness leaves a subtle impression upon the mind. Over time, these impressions become habits, and habits gradually shape our character. A weakened character cannot radiate the full light of the soul. The encouraging truth, however, is that no one is permanently defined by the mistakes of the past. Every moment offers a new opportunity to choose differently. Each act of honesty strengthens the will. Each decision to forgive expands the heart. Each victory over temptation increases spiritual freedom. Slowly, noble actions become noble habits, and noble habits become a beautiful character. Yogananda reminded us that true character is built one choice at a time, and as our character becomes purified, our soul shines with greater brilliance. The love we express, the integrity we practice, and the compassion we share become the invisible fragrance of our lives, naturally attracting others to the peace, goodness, and divine light that God has awakened within us. Perhaps the greatest lesson Paramahansa Yogananda shared about personal magnetism is that it can never be created by human effort alone. No technique, no outward appearance, and no attempt to impress others can produce the lasting influence that comes from a soul united with God. True spiritual magnetism is the natural result of divine communion. Yogananda taught that the closer we draw to God through sincere prayer, meditation, right living, and selfless love, the more His divine qualities begin to express themselves through us. Peace replaces anxiety. Wisdom overcomes confusion. Joy rises above sorrow. Compassion dissolves selfishness, and fear is transformed into quiet courage. These qualities cannot be purchased, imitated, or forced. They are the living expressions of God's presence within the awakened soul. This is why certain saints and spiritually advanced souls leave such a deep impression on everyone they meet. Their influence does not come from powerful speeches, impressive appearances, or worldly success. It comes from the silent radiance of a heart that lives in constant harmony with the divine. Yogananda often said that when we tune ourselves to God, we become channels through which His light flows into the world. Just as a clean window allows sunlight to pass through without obstruction, a purified mind and loving heart allow God's peace and wisdom to shine naturally through every thought, every word, and every action. People may believe they are attracted to your personality, but in reality they are responding to the divine presence reflected through your life. This is the highest form of personal magnetism because it points beyond the individual and toward the source of all love and goodness. The beautiful truth is that this divine light already exists within every human being. It does not need to be created, it simply needs to be uncovered. As we remove the clouds of fear, selfishness, anger, and ignorance through daily spiritual practice, the soul's eternal radiance begins to shine ever more brightly, blessing not only our own lives but also everyone who comes into our presence. As we come to the end of this journey, take a quiet moment to reflect on everything you have heard today. Paramahansa Yogananda reminds us that true beauty is not something we create by changing our appearance or seeking the approval of the world. It is something we reveal by awakening the divine qualities that already exist within us. So, if you truly wish to become more attractive, do not begin with the mirror. Begin with your mind. Purify your thoughts with kindness and gratitude. Meditate every day, even if only for a few peaceful minutes. Practice calmness when life becomes difficult. Love without expecting anything in return. Strengthen your character through honesty, compassion, and self-control. Above all, deepen your relationship with God, because the closer you come to the divine, the more your soul naturally shines. According to Paramahansa Yogananda, the greatest attraction is not physical beauty but the light of the soul, and that divine light already lives within you. It simply waits for you to remove the clouds of fear, anger, selfishness, and doubt that hide its radiance. If this message touched your heart or inspired you in any way, please take a moment to support this channel by liking this video, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you never miss our future spiritual journeys together. I would also love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what is one spiritual quality you want to develop more deeply in your own life after watching this video? Your reflections may encourage someone else who is walking the same path. And if there is a spiritual topic or a teaching of Paramahansa Yogananda that you would like me to explore in a future video, please share your suggestion in the comments as well. Your ideas help shape the future of this community, and I truly enjoy reading every thoughtful message. Thank you for spending this time with me. May your life be filled with peace, wisdom, divine love, and the radiant light of your soul. Until we meet again, Jai Gurudev.